All right, now the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the Palestinians are determined to continue the conflict at any price. This coming from the Israeli Prime Minister, who is known as a hawk. Now, during a cabinet meet, Netanyahu has slammed Palestine for rejecting the last week's U.S.-led Israel-Palestine peace conference in Bahrain. Now, the U.S. proposal of about $50 billion in terms of financial assistance was rejected by the Palestinians, who said that the issue is of resolving it politically rather than providing economic aid.
הפלסטינית אף עצרה איש עסקים פלסטיני. אחר כך הם שחררו אותו בלחץ אמריקני. אבל הם עצרו אותו. וכל פישו הוא שהוא השתתף בכנס כלכלי שמטרתו לקדם את הכלכלה הפלסטינית. אז דבר אחד ברור עולה מכל זה. הפלסטינים נחושים להמשיך את הסכסוך בכל מחיר, כולל במחיר של רווחתם של הפלסטינים עצמם. כך לא פועלים מי שרוצים לקדם שלום. אנחנו לעומתם ממשיכים לקדם את הקשרים עם העולם הערבי, כולל היום הזה. זה משרת את כולם.
Now, the Palestinian Authority has said that the United States has a pro-Israel tilt and therefore it is not a neutral mediator. It has accused the United States of trying to replace Palestinian statehood with money. Palestine had also briefly arrested a businessman who had attended the Baharain Conference. Meanwhile, Netanyahu has said that Israel might impose more sanctions on Hamas, which actually administers the Gaza Strip if attacks on Israel do not stop. Remember, on Friday, Israel had resumed fuel supplies to Gaza after easing of sanctions. Now, Britain's Prime Ministerial hopeful Boris Johnson has said that he took full responsibility of the Brexit referendum. Johnson was in fact referring to the 2016 campaign to leave the European Union that he had spearheaded, adding that he was very proud of the campaign. Now, Boris Johnson said that he took personal responsibility for the current Brexit deadlock.
And I take personal responsibility, by the way, most importantly, for the vote to leave the European Union. I played a part in that campaign, and I'm very proud of what we did. But I take personal responsibility now for what is happening to our country, for the drift and the dither and the indecision and the failure to be sufficiently robust in the negotiations which we've seen so far. And what I want to add now is my own ability, I think, to lead us out of this mess. We will get ready in a very sensible and sober way to come out on October the 31st with no deal if we absolutely have to. But we will get a deal with our friends and partners that provides security for business, for investment, and allows us to carry on. And then we can get on with the agenda that I've been talking about.
Now, Johnson also called the current deal negotiated by Prime Minister Theresa May as defunct, but has added that the Eurozone would want to renegotiate the agreement to avoid a disorderly Brexit.
Yes or no, isn't it?
Doesn't sound like it from what they're saying.
I don't think that they are going to want a disorderly Brexit of any kind, and it's not in their interest. There's no reason why they should want the sudden imposition of tariffs.
Meanwhile, Johnson's main competitor and UK's Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt has said that Britain would leave the European Union by the 31st of October, even if it amounted to a no-deal scenario.
The outcome of that investigation will inform our assessment of future. If the only way to leave the European Union is without a deal, then I would do that, and we will make a success of it, and we will protect the Union, but we would have to be very sensitive to the concerns that people like David Mundell raised, because you're absolutely right, it would not be popular in Scotland.
Now, remember, a heated contest for Prime Minister Theresa May's succession has gripped the United Kingdom's ruling Conservative Party. The Conservatives have to choose a new Prime Minister by the end of July, as May has announced her resignation. All right, now San Francisco has become the first city in the United States to ban e-cigarettes. But the question, of course, is why are e-cigarettes in the middle of this raging controversy? Now, e-cigarettes, also known as vapes, heat a nicotine mixture that is extracted from tobacco. They also include other flavorings and chemicals to create a water vapor that is then inhaled. Now, e-cigarettes simulate smoking, providing some behavioral aspects of smoking, but without burning tobacco. Now, the key contention behind the ban on e-cigarettes in the city of San Francisco is to protect youngsters, especially teenagers, who appear to be taking to vaping in a very big way. Now, first introduced in the year 2003 in China, the use of e-cigarettes has risen exponentially around the world. Now, in the United States, almost about 30 million adults, that is almost about 10% of the US population, was found addicted to nicotine through vaping. Now, influential groups such as American Lung Association and also the American Heart Association have backed the decision by San Francisco. Now, the ban on e-cigarettes is being viewed as an experiment, the result of which no one is quite sure of. Now, the opinion, even amongst the researchers, is divided. Some view the ban as an instrument for controlling nicotine addiction, while others believe that banning e-cigarettes actually will result in harming the very youngsters, the very people whom the ban seeks to protect. But the reality is a complex one. Now, what is also interesting to note is that e-cigarettes or vapes are recommended and used by cigarette smokers who are trying to quit the habit. Now, the vapor from e-cigarettes is considered almost about 95% more safer than regular cigarette smoke, as it has no tar and toxins from burnt tobacco. But the dramatic surge in the number of youngsters becoming nicotine addicts is what has prompted San Francisco to ban e-cigarettes.